Business Dialogues for Good, a series of inspiring conversations with business leaders dedicated to business for good. In these discussions, we explore successes, challenges, opportunities, and world-changing ideas. Join us, get inspired, and be part of the change.
Welcome to the Business Dialogues for Good Leaders. This monthly dialogue video will be a discussion between two leaders who are business leaders and are doing their business as a force for good. So their companies clearly serve a purpose. And sometimes we can say if they would not exist, the world would be a little bit worse off. This episode will be a discussion around the very important question, why a company is there. So why are you there? Why is the company created? What is what we sometimes call the impact business model? And we have two phenomenal leaders here in this discussion. We have Anita, who is from Albert Heijn, and she is the Director of Sustainability and Quality. Albert Heijn, everybody in the Netherlands knows what that is, but maybe not outside of the Netherlands. It is the largest retail chain with a little bit more than 1,262 stores, which is a lot in the Netherlands. And our second guest is Frank van der Ven, who is the CEO and founder of iTeam Global, which is also the studio that we use here, a phenomenal studio. Frank is the host, and they are sponsoring this program. And his company, I say it always wrong, is a global company producing technology, inspiration for cleaning companies. But Frank can explain that later much better than I do. So I would like to start asking both of you to give a brief introduction about your company before we start the discussion. So maybe, Anita, you can tell a little bit more about Albert Heijn.
Albert Heijn is a food retailer in the Netherlands. I think we're the leading food retailer in the country. Its company is 137 years old. There's a huge heritage that we've taken. Always have put the customer at the first place, and we serve the customer still today. And we are working every day now to make sure that the next 100 years are also there for us and our customers.
Founded by Mr.
Heijn himself.
Albert Heijn. So that is the name comes from the founder. It used to be a kind of a family company.
And it had a very nice motto: never forget where you work for. And this is the customer.
Never forget where you work for. That is a nice motto. So then we go, Frank, why did you start? You used to be a banker, and now you're here.
I'm still a little bit banker, not because at the end, keep a healthy company. It has something to do also with money and results. But I think the most important reason that we started the company is, first of all, as you already said, we are not a cleaning company, but we're providing technology to cleaning companies. We like to influence them. We call us change the way you think about cleaning. And when we started the company, we had three big pillars in mind. One of them was the people, the next one was the planet, and the third one was prosperity. And those three we have brought to the market from day one. And we want, let's say, at the end, that the cleaner gets more respect by helping them to, let's say, having other work methods, other way of looking in the building. And if you would bend down, let's say, nobody will say good morning, good evening, good day to you. If you stand up and look around, everybody will do that. And
we'll get to that in more detail, Frank.
So that is what we are doing, and that's what the aim is of the company. That's why BPP.
Not a cleaning company, but a company delivering technology to cleaning companies. The theme of today is the impact business model. What is the impact of your company? So mainly the question, why is your company existing? And that is a question that many companies never ask themselves. They are there to make money, but they don't ask the question, what is your intrinsic driven model? So I'm interested, what is the reason for your companies? You already started a little bit with that, Frank, but so maybe Anita, you can start with that. What is the impact business model? Why are you there? What is your reason?
Yeah, the only thing I can really refer to is the mission of Albert Heijn. And this is together we make eating better, the easy choice for everyone. So together is really about with our customers, with our employees, with our partners, with the government, with science, really together. Eating better is about health, about social, about sustainability, but really about making a meaningful contribution in these three areas. The easy choice is about convenience, it's about affordability, it's about being there, it's about the products are in the shelves, and we have no empty shelves, for instance. And for everyone, it's really for everyone. So we have a wide range of products. You can find any product in our stores. We are not a grocery store just selling vegetables. We are not an organic store just selling organic products. We are there for everyone with any interest you might have. So that's our mission. And I think that's the impact that describes the impact business model. We are there to make a meaningful contribution.
But sometimes to steer you a little bit in that direction, Anita, you say Albert Heijn feeds
7 million plates every evening. Yeah, so this is a huge number, right? Every evening, 7 million plates we fill in the households in the Netherlands. The 7 million times, it's a responsibility to do this the best way we can, make the food safe, tasty, sustainable and healthy as possible. But overall, 7 million times a chance to do it better every day, every evening. So it's every day, it's kind of a huge step up we can make to do things better.
And you're really trying to influence those people to eat as healthy as possible.
To have the healthy choice available and make it kind of the easy choice, also for sustainable but also healthy choices we have. But we of course realize that eating vegetables all day is not kind of how we live. We need the other products too. We know that the journey of sustainability or the journey of health, it's a long journey. And we're on this journey, and as long as we kind of make these steps, small steps or big steps, it doesn't matter. 7 million
in the
times,
right direction.
In the right direction. 7 million times a very small step by just kind of reducing a small amount of sugar from a product. It's in the end 7 million times something it adds up to a lot. It's a big step.
So every day you make a big step divided over 7 million plates.
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice thing. Frank?
Yeah, I would say there are a lot of similarities already in the description, which I didn't know, by the way, let's say about Albert Heijn, but team stands for together, everybody achieve more, so that's the name of the group, let's say, and that means that it is included everybody, because that's in the name, and also achievement is in the name, and looking at where we find the win-win is also in the name, and the win for the planet, the win for the people, let's say, and at the end the win for the company, let's say. And so I would say there is if you listen to the story, I cannot say that we influence every day 7 million people, but maybe we say we try to influence 11 million people, because that's the amount of people which are working in the cleaning industry worldwide, and we influencing them by the way of our behavior, by the way what we do, let's say, where we tell the story when they are in our building. So influencing is one of the ways, let's say, where we want to make kind of a step. The next thing is everything we make, we do that from a perspective of the planet and say, how can we be better in water? How can we be better in energy? And how can we be better in work pleasure? Ergonomics, as they call it, with a more expensive word. And this has to do, again, with the people aspect. So at the end, we do the planet and the people aspect with each other in the design of machines. And maybe another part of it is we were the first one taking what we call female approach into our male industry. At the end, still so that engineering is from homeland.
But Frank, I would think that the cleaning industry is more a female industry than a male industry.
In the users on the working floor, yes.
Okay.
But in the inventors or factories or developing or engineers behind the desk, it's more male operated. And that's where, and if you want to go to a female audience, you have to have some female influence somewhere in your organization. Otherwise, it will not arrive to them. For example, if you make a kind of a turning point on a machine, it has to be clear that people can turn it. And that they cannot, what we call, get injured on their nails or fingers or whatever. So there's a lot of aspects, so that's why we have female testing panels. What we do is, let's say, in those 16 years, we became what I call a thought leader in this aspect in our industry.
Of making the life of the cleaner better.
Better, exactly, with respect of the environment called energy and water.
So I think we all know that cleaning people, are not always the most appreciated people as far as attention goes, as far as salary goes. So that is your main goal, I've always heard, to improve the life of a cleaner.
Yeah.
That he doesn't have to, she or he doesn't have to sit on their knees cleaning the floor, but they use your machine so they can stand up.
Yes, we are motivating them. No, three things, I think. We are motivating them to get a different life, to do the job more easy, and not being tired at home. Let's say when they come home, let's say that their arms are doing what, and their back is injured and this kind of stuff. But also at the same moment, we bring in the story that by doing that, also they're helping other people in the world. And this is we have one of our products called an iMop, but we call the iMop a mobile water well. So as soon as they have that, they see the picture of somebody else in Africa, they are helping on clean drinking water. And this connection, let's say, we are bringing to them. So at the end, the good feeling is also important for people. And this is what we are driving them, indirect. Let's say,
So you at Albert Heijn in the Netherlands, you have how many employees?
125,000.
Yeah, so that is quite a group of people. So the social aspect of how do you treat your employees is
crucial.
Important.
It's crucial, and it's becoming even more important. It's always been important, not only the customers, but we are the people. The company kind of is. It's 125,000 employees is Albert Heijn, and I'm intrigued also by your how you position your company. Because also Albert Heijn, we see ourselves as a food tech company, because tech is crucially important to also make next steps in sustainability or health. If I see how many techies work in Albert Heijn and how they help also on the topics where I every day involved in preventing food waste by algorithms, dynamic pricing in the stores. It's really everything is kind of tech.
Yeah, a food tech.
There's a lot of similarities.
Correct, and we would say in cleaning, if you would look around in a cleaning building, a lot of people do not look at cleaning. That's one of the problems already, let's say, because they think, okay, it's being done, but most of the cleaning was done on the old days and nights or evenings or whatever. So a lot of people didn't see them. They get now more visibility because we are moving more towards day cleaning, as we call it. So we are starting to engage with them. But then it gets important, let's say, that you can enjoy a little bit the cleaning task, and if they see Lane, they can say good morning, good evening to Lane, and tech can help you because we can give you more time if we can cut out waste. And waste, if you talk about tech, is also a big portion in things. They walk a lot in the building to take stuff which they do not have available. They need to get it, and if we can cut that out by data, then we can help them to get the waste out, and we can give them a little bit more time to do their task better and different, let's say, and enjoy it more.
Yeah, so those are great stories, and I think it's a great discussion to see the commonalities and the driving and the ambition and the intrinsically that you really feel it to go forward. So many companies or many people would say, well, hey, that's all very nice and inspiring, and how can you ever make money when you have those big goals? Is it at all possible to make money with that? So what are the challenges you face from your maybe investors, your clients, your employees? Maybe Anita, you can start with that.
Yeah, I think at Albert Heijn we prove every day that profit and purpose and profitability, it goes hand in hand, and you have to do both. So you have to be economical, a healthy company, but you can use that money also for good. So really being a company who uses and invests in the things that we have to do to make a positive impact on the planet. So investing technology to prevent food waste, instructing and training our employees to make sure that they also work on the mission we have as Albert Heijn. So this goes hand in hand. I don't think you can do one or the other, not in the retail companies, the business we are in. It has to go hand in hand, and I see every day we have our mission as a compass, and we use it really to make the right decisions every day, to make the balance in the best way we can for that moment.
So as you do with your hands, it's a balancing act every day that you make a small step in the right direction, but if you would move boldly, then it would be, I think, damaging to the company.
It would be, and in the end, I think we would lose the customer. So if we would kind of take the protein transition as an example. If we would stop selling meat today, the customer would move to another store where they could still buy meat. So it really is important to keep the customer in the store by the hand, take small steps to make sure that you lead the way and show the inspiring examples, the alternatives on the plate in the evening. So it's really important to take kind of bold steps, but a bold step can be a small step for a customer.
And one question before I turn to you, Frank, is what I would wonder is, you are part as Albert Heijn of a larger global conglomerate called Ahold Delhaize, and they have shareholders.
Yep.
And they basically also are kind of a shareholder. They own Albert Heijn. So how do they look at this? Do they see this as advantageous, or do they worry sometimes a little bit, because it's in the end it's the shareholders who can decide?
Yeah, yes, this is absolutely true. But as I just said, it's kind of, we prove every day that this is possible. That this balancing act is if you do this kind of in the right way, that it's benefiting both. It's and this is
and at
sometimes
the end of the day, I don't think your market share is going down. Not.
It's no.
So that's
we're in
also
a good
another
place.
value of the shareholders. If the theory is correct, not is kind of are you in the market or out of the market, or are you leaving the market by whatever, or is the market voting for you? Not. And at the end, if you can gain market share, trust, and so on, then the market is voting for you, I think.
Yeah.
Customer loyalty, because it also in society, our customers expect us really to be the front runner and to take lead the way and share the great examples we have with our colleagues in the market. So it's being expected also from our customers, and this reflects in the market share, for instance.
What are your challenges, Frank? Because you're a little bit smaller than Albert Heijn, but still in
much
many
smaller,
countries.
But anyhow, it doesn't mean it's not about the size. I think it's about being the best in your category. I think they are, and in our category, I can say also that we are the best, let's say. So I think there is also a common story there. But I think our biggest issue is, let's say, at the end, that you have a concept or a product or a solution and it has a price. And our price is not the lowest in the market. At the end, our price is the lowest in the market. If people would look at the total end of life. So we call it total cost of ownership, of total cost of application. But not a lot of purchasers today are used to look at that thing. And also a lot of costs are not registered. So if, for example, I buy something, it costs $500, and I need to use paper bags, vacuum cleaners is a nice thing because people know that at home, the cost of paper bags are never counted because nobody knows that in the bookkeeping. And at the end of the day, let's say this is where then the problem comes from. And then the next thing would be if that machine would be a rest value of $200 and the reparation is costing $200, also that $200 is not being booked, let's say. So the total cost of ownership, nobody really owns and knows. That's our biggest issue in that segment of the market. So there is only a portion. They call it what is my starting amount, and nobody looks at what it costs to keep the car on the road for the next 10 years. And the next thing is that a lot of people are looking at 3 or 4 years, and we are looking at 10 years.
Well, that Frank, is interesting, because that brings me to my next question to both of you, and that has to do with the vision on the future. And that is because we all know what's happening, for example, with climate, with water shortages or water problems. So it's interesting to see how you both think that your company and the way that you're moving forward will change maybe over the coming 5 to 10 years. So you must have an idea about that, how you think that the consumers maybe will change, how the laws will change. In your case, for example, Frank, the laws will change that every cleaning company has to do a kind of a certification.
Yeah, well, I would say, first of all, I see that the business model to solve all these issues in one go is, let's say, take responsibility in the market for the total process. We call it the subscription model. So at the end, if you go to subscription model, the whole thing of the 10 years of the car is getting into a weekly fee or a daily fee or a monthly fee. And then the adaptation also gets much more easy because you don't talk with me about an investment of 5,000 euros or 3,000, whatever the amount will be, but you talk about maybe a fee of $100 in a month, and what you can easily calculate calculate, and then the adaptation can be much wider and much deeper, because maybe the big companies can do something, but it's about the pyramid base. And we are now the biggest in the pyramid. It's the small ones in the bottom. They are the biggest ones, and how you get there. Because if you say you want to have a movement, you want to have an influence, then you need to get to the bottom of the pyramid, and how you make it affordable for the bottom of the pyramid. The same as the fight at Albert Heijn. How do you make my store, affordable for everybody, and not for an X category of salary? So that is, let's say, the same I think we have. So we are looking at business models and experimenting with business models about, let's say, on a small scale, how this would work. Because
moving it also to end consumers, people like us?
Not yet to end consumers, but more to what I call business consumers. At the end, hotels, cleaning companies, hospitals, this kind of thing. We are in the business market, but at the end, we are still in the people-to-people market, because at the end, it's somebody making a decision behind the desk. It's a human being still. Maybe it's replaced by AR soon, I do not know, but at this moment, still people. And that's the ones we're talking to. But if they would see that the whole exploitation of a choice, of if it is a tool or a machine or a robot or a cobot, and I say to you, you can buy it from me in small portions. I will be responsible to keep the thing on the road. I will be responsible for end of life.
So you think, Frank, that sustainability, making sustainable choices over the coming years, will be a little bit easier?
I think so, and the ones who can really take care of the world is the ones who have let it born in the world.
Because that brings me to Albert Heijn, where you have the consumers like us, and the end consumers, so to speak. Do you think, because when I look back 10 years ago, Anita, and I was eating meat almost every day. Now I eat maybe meat twice a week.
Yep.
So the changes I have not even noticed myself, but clearly the consumer is changing. So how do you at Albert Heijn see that over the coming years?
What I see is kind of every year or 2 years there's a new topic kind of extra added to the topic of sustainability. You mentioned water, there is nature, there is biodiversity. So Scope 3, 10 years ago, nobody spoke about Scope 3. It was, of course, there.
Only 1 and 2.
Yeah, so it's so this is kind of changing, and it's kind of broadening every year. So as Albert Heijn, we have to also keep looking at the horizon to see what's coming and make sure that we act in time to make sure that we are as a company positioned to take the right steps, to take our customers along, but also to take the partners in our supply chain along. So if your question, how do I see in 5 to 10 years what is changing, I see that kind of the time of incremental steps in your silo is over this time. We have to move to more system changes to make sure that we work together. To really think about the system, it has to change, because then we make a bigger impact. So I think we will be working more together with partners, maybe companies like you, to join up. So this is, I think, a big thing that will be different.
So can you imagine that you force your supply chain, force is maybe not a very friendly word, to partnership,
them, I think.
Influence them to move along, because I can imagine if certain partners don't want to move along, they don't fit.
Exactly, and I think this will be kind of an organic process. So it's kind of the partners you work with are the partners you feel like they're on the same journey. So the selection will come kind of in an automatic way, as long as you're clear where you want to go to. The people who want to join, they will come to you as well. So this is, I think is changing, and our supply chains. I mean, good to mention that as well. We are moving more and more to closed supply chain. Our farmer knows that his product is in an Albert Heijn store. It's not a commodity anymore. So we need these supply chains to make sure that also for in the next 100 years that we still have those delicious local products in our stores, and we have to take care of each other. So we are taking care of the farmers in the Netherlands, the 1,200 farmers who are working with. So it's just one example of, I think, so kind of the ecosystem will change. We will become more circular. Circularity is a topic we are really looking into, kind of from waste to a new ingredient for a new product. So kind of that there's no waste anymore, no food waste, no packaging waste. no water waste. So the circularity is also a topic we are very interested in. And this also, in the end, there's an economic advantage as well. If you kind of turn waste into a new ingredient. So here it goes hand in hand every time.
Yeah, it can even become cheaper. You have the same. You have supply chains. You have a factory in China where it is very sustainable, I know. And
yeah, first of all, I think one of the interesting remarks there was the silo, because a lot of companies had, I think in the past, silos, and they didn't know they were really silos. But the real thing of a silo is it's isolated inside a thing. And I think opening the silos or working on another way is, I think, one of the big advantages. Every organization is now discovering that that is another way of doing, I would say, business. So I would say get rid of the silos. I never believed in silos, by the way, but anyhow, that's my personal way of doing the things. But I know that if you're not carefully, they are existing in companies. And the next thing would be is what we call resource planning and how do you do things. And indeed, we have a factory in China, a developing center in China, but we already day one we did vertical integration. And vertical integration is exactly as to say our farmer is our what we call vendor, as we call them. We invest in them, we train them, we educate them, and we make them up to our standards. And we tell them why we do that. 10 years ahead, 10 years ago. And I think if you bring people with you on that journey, you can do it much faster.
Yeah, we cannot do it alone. We have to work.
And also dare to be vulnerable. Share your dilemmas. There are not only successes, there are also dilemmas to share. And if you put them on the table, there's always somebody there with a good insight or a good inspiration. And this is also together you can work from dilemmas to new breakthroughs to reach system changes.
That's why we have a good name. Together everybody achieve more. Right? So put the dilemmas there.
Team Global. And that is, we are nearing the end of this edition. And I would like to challenge you a little bit. Because we are here sitting and we are more of the same mindset that we want to create a better world with the companies that we run. What you are both doing in a way is inspiring the masses. Large groups of people, 7 million every day, all over the world, cleaning people. So what would you say to the people who are, let's say, a little bit hardcore, but still willing to move in the right direction?
I would invite them. Invite them and sit on the table, work with us, see what we really do, let's say, and then judge again, let's say, because it's very easy to judge from a distance to somebody, let's say, without knowing what is going around inside and how the things are organized. Talking about these, you call them activists, I do not know, I call them also influencers, because at the end, if you go back to the old days of Greenpeace, let's say, there was still a lot of stuff which came out of the Greenpeace world, which we are now benefiting of.
You wanted to say something about the status of Albert Heijn.
I see those smaller or activists or core believers, or they play a crucial role. I think they inspire, at least they inspire Albert Heijn. They make us think, they give you feedback, they make you reflect to what we are doing at the moment. So they play a crucial role. And as Albert Heijn, we are now B Corp certified, and I'm very humble and proud that we have reached this status, because the small B Corps have kind of paved the way and inspired Albert Heijn to look at the certification and see what we could learn from it. So I would really invite them, as you do, kind of speak up, step in. I have a lot of dilemmas still on my plate every day.
Was it a difficult journey?
It was a learningful journey, a tough one maybe as well, but in the end it kind of, the exercise is good because it kind of confirms that you're on the right track. And it's a journey of Albert Heijn, and it's good to have a kind of an external view giving you a kind of opinion, feedback, and this helps again.
It helps you to make everybody proud. That's the most difficult problem you have. Let's say if you have a common name, common goal, common thing, then you can make everybody proud. Otherwise, maybe it's a select group who is proud. And if you really want to get to the next wave, you need that power, you need that energy, you need that everything around. And I would say by having, I would call it the status, the label, the way of behaving, let's say, as a B Corp will help everybody says, okay, proud that we have reached this level and proud that we can get there
Yeah,
the next step.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, that-
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank
So-
you.
And we are jealous.
So thank you, Anita and Frank, for this open and honest dialogue. And it's very clear I think, to me and to the audience that you can define your purpose and your reason for being. Thank you for watching this first episode of Business Dialogues for Leaders for Good. Every month we cover a critical business issue for businesses and leaders of companies that are driven by a force for good. Be inspired.